Hey, what's up guys? MC Dead here with another video. In this video tonight I thought I'd do something a bit different for the end of the year. We're just coming up to Christmas, so this will be my last video of the year. And I thought I'd talk about something that I've been promising for a while, which is horror comics. And I've got quite a few in my collection that I've got over the years. I'm more gearing towards the movies and figures now, as you know, but yeah, starting out probably about 10 years ago, I was collecting a few graphic novels and managed to pick up some interesting things as well. So I'm just going to start with this series here, Blackest Night, and this spanned the whole of the DC universe, but in particular this story centered around Green Lantern, and it was based on the old prophecy. The story was based on that Green Lantern was told when he met Abin Sur, and he of course handed down the ring to Green Lantern, and the prophecy went, in brightest day and blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. And of course that was the prophecy of the coming of the Black Lanterns. And basically the Black Lanterns come into being through a character called, what's his name again? Black Hand. And he's sort of reincarnated back from the dead and creates these series of black rings, power rings. Of course, Green Lantern's got the green power ring, but what happens is it creates this gigantic ring which is centered on Earth, this black ring, and of course all the superheroes that have been killed in the past come back to life. And they start coming after the superheroes. I can't say too much about it. It's a pretty wide-spanning story, but this is one volume of a number of different ones. I'll show you what they all sort of look like. So that's the first one there. That's the main Blackest Night storyline that covers issues 1 to 6 of the main story. But then there's all these tie-ins as well, which I'll show. But I just wanted to show a bit of art in this as well, because this is an awesome piece. So I'll just flip randomly to some pages in here. The art was by Ivan Reis, but just some incredible artwork. You can see that's Black Hand there. Sorry, no, that was another character. I can't remember his name. I haven't read this, by the way, for years, so but you can see some of the awesome artwork in this. A lot of it's sort of double pages. Like it opens out, you can see there. And it includes all the covers to the individual comics as well. So that was the first one. That covers the main story. These are going for about $50 each back in the day. I don't know how much they're worth now, but you can go to any of your local comic shops and I'm pretty sure they'll have it. So there's that one there. This is the volume that covers the Green Lantern side of the story. So these 2 volumes are must-reads. The other stuff's sort of supplementary material, but I'll just show you some of the artwork in this as well. Just a few random pages. See if I can find some really cool stuff. There's one of the yellow lanterns there. Just randomly flicking through, but yeah, absolutely amazing artwork, like it was really ahead of its time. You can see there. So that was the main story for Blackest Night from the Green Lantern series. I think there's about 6 issues in there as well. The next one is different again. This is Rise of the Black Lantern. So this is supplementary material. Again, we'll just have a flick. I'll see if I can find something cool here. Yeah, there's a really cool picture. Yeah. Just so you can get an idea sort of what the artwork's like here. Another cool piece. So that's that one. So yeah, supplementary reading to add on to that main overall story. Again, same thing with Green Lantern Corps. Oh yeah, this is issues 39 to 47, so there's 8 issues in this one. Various artists and writers. Pick out a couple of things from here as well, just to show you. There's a cool shot there. The Green Lantern's going into battle. There's another cool one of Kyle Rayner. Awesome artwork in these. So that's that one. Black Lantern Corps is another one. So, again, supplementary reading material. There's a cool shot there of Wonder Woman as a Black Lantern. From memory, I think she was killed off in like an alternate universe, but that was a cool piece there. And this one of Flash is really cool. Awesome detail, awesome colouring, awesome pencils. Awesome stuff. So that's that one. Tales of the Corps, again, supplementary reading. Okay. And this is 3 issues. These are kind of just short stories. I'll just show one shot in here because it's sort of a hit and miss with this stuff. So that's that one. So all up, with the main storyline, I think, which was 6 issues, and then the Green Lantern supplementary material, which I think was another 8. You've got about 12 or so main storyline parts that you've got to read, and then what I did, I just went online, just go to any sort of comic book fanzine or whatever online and just put in, just Google Green Lantern Blackest Night event reading order, and it'll give you a list of in what order you read these volumes, because I had to sort of switch back and forth between the volumes. It jumps around all over the place. So yeah, in short, I ended up getting all 6 volumes of it, and it cost me, it was dear. It was about $50 a volume. I just bought them over time. So that's that. The next one here I thought I'd show you is Clive Barker, Tapping the Vein. I got this a number of years ago. I remember reading this when I was a kid and it scared the shit out of me. Clive Barker's stuff's really dark. You're familiar with his work. He's done the Hellraiser stuff. And this is incredible. This is some really scary stuff in here. And the artwork's really weird too. It's like Midnight Meat Train. That was made into a film. So there's some cool... It's sort of like really grainy, like old school sort of artwork and like weird artwork. Like this was a story about like savages in the jungle and like cannibalism. They're all horror short stories that were in Clive Barker's Books of Blood. I'm just trying to find another good section here. I should have put some post-it notes in here. It would have made it quicker, but I'm just sort of randomly showing you stuff as we go. But yeah, if you're a fan of Clive Barker and you're a fan of horror stuff, definitely check out Tapping the Vein. I don't think there'd be many of these around now. It might be something you'd probably want to pick up on eBay, but yeah, that's that one there. These 2 volumes are awesome. I got these around about 2011, I reckon, and of course this is Tales from the Crypt. And Tales from the Crypt went on, of course, to really inspire the movie Creep Show, which I've reviewed in a series before. And you look at the font on the writing there, that's exactly like Creep Show. But these were awesome to get. They're reproductions of the original comic book from the 1950s, so they're just scans. I think in a lot of cases they were re-inked as well, just to improve the colour. But awesome, awesome series this. It's all in colour, and it's that old school 1950s sort of feel with this stuff. And there's quite a bit of supplementary stuff in here as well. Forward by Joe Dante, the director. And this is issues 7 to 12. And they reproduce all the front covers as well. Some great artwork in there. I can't see the number on that issue, but whatever number it was. And they're all like sort of old school ghost stories and people coming back from the dead and all of the stuff that was popular back in the 1950s and before, you know, before authorities got onto it and sort of banned it all. Like there's an old school picture there of, you know, very 1950s, like very cool artwork in that one. So that was issues 7 to 12 reproduced of Tales from the Crypt, and this is issues 1 to 6 of the same thing. And these were about 50, 60 bucks. They weren't cheap, but again, really worth having. Really nice reproductions, and really nice reproductions of the front covers of the original comic as well in here. And a forward by John Carpenter in this one as well. So it's all that sort of old school artwork. I just loved it. It was really cool to sit down and read that. Really a product of its time, you know, a little bit dated with the language and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a cool one as well. I remember reading 2000 AD comics in the 1980s. I had a guy that lived next door that used to collect 2000 AD. And 2000 AD was basically like a sci-fi horror comic. Judge Dredd, of course, became a lot more well known when Sylvester Stallone played the character in the movie he was in, Judge Dredd. And Judge Death is an awesome character. All the Dark Judges, as they were called, basically Judge Death was created, I think they were all created from memory through the bodies of criminals, and their whole deal was they proclaimed living as a crime. So if you were alive, you were committing a crime, so therefore you needed to be put down, basically, and that's what these judges did. But yeah, Judge Death was an awesome character, and this just sort of collects, it's called Death Lives, and this sort of collects the best Judge Death stories, and I'll just give you a bit of a look inside here. This was all redone as well. Some of this is in black and white, and some of this is in colour. But here's an awesome shot of 3 of the judges. I'm trying to remember their names. I think it was Judge Mortis, Judge Fire, and I can't remember the other guy's name there, but there'll also be another shot in here of Judge Death himself, if I just find a really good example of it. And that's Judge Death here, just on the left corner panel there. Awesome comic book, awesome stories in this, and here's some colour stuff as well. So I always wish they had done a movie with the Dark Judges in it, because I think it would have been really good. But that's that one there, and that wasn't that dear. I think I picked this up for maybe 20 bucks, so it was pretty good for that price. The next lot of comics I've talked a lot about, The Walking Dead. I got the first 4 volumes of this in hardback. If anybody's been living under a rock and they don't know anything about it, it's about a cop called Rick Grimes that wakes up in the hospital after a shooting on the job, and basically he's deserted on his own. His family's disappeared. He wakes up in the hospital, it's overrun with zombies, and he's just sort of working it out as he goes. And as time progresses, you know, he ends up meeting his wife and his kid again, and his friend Shane, and they get a sort of small group going, and then the group gets larger and larger, and essentially it's just them trying to survive this apocalypse. They don't know what started it, they don't know where it's come from, and it goes on from there. And this was a lot of issues. I can't remember exactly how many. I think it went up to like 194 or something, don't quote me on it, but just an awesome series. It became an absolute phenomenon, as most people probably know, like on television. And you know, fans were really disappointed when Kirkman ended this really abruptly. They didn't see it coming. You know, killed off a major character. They didn't see that coming either. But I think he just ran out of ideas and got sick of it. But this is all black and white from the start. you know, an awesome shot there of him. Hopefully you can see that all right. There's not too much glare of him coming into Atlanta on a horse. He's on his own at this point. You know, he meets up with Glenn there, and there's another shot of him out in the wilderness. Really cool look. And the guy that did the pencils on this had actually changed. Before Charlie Adlard, it was Tony Moore that was doing the pencils for the first few issues, and then it changed over to Charlie Adlard, which was quite a different lot of artwork. Again, you see this sign here with Rick going ballistic at one of the guys that he's met up with on the road there. But the artwork is incredible in these. So that was the first one. That's the 4th volume. So you can get these. They're all about $50. Graphic novels are generally, a lot of the stuff I've got, about $50, brand new. You can go in and have a look. It's just more of the same artwork there, where they meet a lot of people on the road that are sort of crazy and taking up arms, and you know, in the end they sort of prove to be a bigger danger than the zombies, because they get used to the zombies. But there, of course, that's the governor, that famous scene where he's coming in on the tank. Incredible artwork in this. So this covers the start right up until the governor storyline. These first 4 hardcover graphic novels that I got. That's an awesome. A lot of them are like double panel. So you can see there, Rick's basically found a dude that was a traitor, and he's gone and hunted him down and hit him with a car, and he's basically about to talk to him, and yeah, you'll find out what happens. But that was volume 3 and volume 2. You know, they've all got a different sort of survivor on the front. In this case here with book 2, it's Michonne. And yeah, I'm just sort of picking some artwork at random that's cool. When Tyrese and Rick have a fight, yeah, awesome double panel. It's just, again, artwork's amazing. Charlie Adlard did such a good job. And Kirkman's writing, it's just, you just can't put it down. I remember when I first read it, I just couldn't wait to go out and get that next volume to find out what happens. Because when I started reading it, I think it was up to about issue 60 or 70, as I started reading it over 10 years ago now. And the series wasn't even out. So when the series came out, yeah, I'm such a fan, as you know, as I've talked about. Another one I wanted to show you here. Now, it's not a graphic novel, but it's a really interesting find, this one. This is Too Much Horror Business by Kirk Hammett. And Kirk Hammett, if you don't know who that is one of the guitar players of Metallica. And he's also a horror collector. So this book is basically, I got this one on loan from Dad. I bought it for him a few years ago for Christmas from Dimmicks, and it was $40 at the time, but you can't find it much anymore. It's only sort of online that you can find this book, and I only saw one copy on eBay, and it was something out of control, like $80 or something. But in this, basically, it's interviews with an interview with him, and he's talking about his collection. Then he gives the examples of the collection here as well, like some of the stuff he's got. Like, he collects movie posters. So there's, you know, all the movie posters that he's collected. And he had a crazy story about one of them that he found in a movie theatre. It was a movie poster of The Mummy, and he said it was covered with soda and all shit had been spilled over it, but he took it in and got it refurbished. And got it fixed up, and it ended up being worth a lot of money because it was an original poster print. There's some more stuff that he collects there. I'll show you some of the masks. They were really cool. He collects everything and anything: figures, masks, posters, paintings, a lot of movie posters. A lot of the movie poster sort of stuff he's a big collector of. But I just want to find these masks. Here's some really cool masks that he's collected. There. Some really cool ones there. that's essentially what it is. He's sort of talking about his collection. That's really cool. There's Kirk Hammett there, and there's like all the paintings he's got behind him. So that's what it is. It's just him talking about his collection and sort of, oh, look at this. Look at the guitars. If you're a guitarist, you'll love that. Some amazing guitars there. He's painted like horror movies like Frankenstein there. Dracula, The Bride of Frankenstein, The Mummy. Really, really cool. I love Metallica and I love Kirk Hammett. Done some great stuff. There's some more awesome paintings there he's collected. I'll just show a couple more of if there's anything else different in here. I have to go back and read this again. There's some really cool old school posters that he's had refurbished. So yeah, really cool coffee table book. If you like Metallica, if you like Kirk Hammett, and even if you don't, if you just like some really awesome antique collecting, I'd call it, like stuff that's just not available anywhere. And he actually has a guy go out and looks at the stuff and appraises it. So, you know, he's a pretty busy man. So wouldn't it be awesome to have someone like that just go out and like look at shit for you, and you just pay them and they go and get it. So yeah, that's that one. So that's about it for the graphic novels and books and comics and stuff like that. And now we're going to move on to the reviews. Yeah, and the first movie I picked up here, I was lucky enough to get for my birthday from Mum. So thanks very much, Mum, for this one. And this, of course, is part of Umbrella Entertainment's Beyond Genres line. And I believe this is volume 11. And this is directed by Andrzej Zulawski. And this stars Sam Neill and Isabelle Adjani. Bit difficult to say her name, but really cool movie. German director, really strange. Hard to describe this one. Set after the fall of the Berlin Wall in Germany. It's basically a married couple. They're really strange people. They're just constantly fighting and arguing. There's some hectic, like, cursing and beatings and thrashing the shit out of each other, and just some really strange behaviours. Like the middle sequence in this movie where she's having like this, it's hard to describe, man. It's like some kind of a fit, and like all this weird shit's happening. She's kind of like mutating into something else, and basically it's just it's so hard to describe. It's a married couple, and he sort of finds out she's cheating on him. And he doesn't know who with, but he does, like, he's looking into it, he's making all these phone calls, and somehow he finds out that she's got this lover that she's keeping on the side, and then he meets up with him and all this weird shit happens, and it's just so hard to describe, man. And it turns out she's, like, having sex with this tentacled, like, alien creature. You don't really know where it's from. It's not sort of explained where it's from, but it's one of those movies that you've just got to see to believe it. Like, no wonder they've put it in the Beyond Genres line of films, because you just can't pin it down to any one thing. Like, it's partly like science fiction, it's partly horror, it's partly like fantasy. It's just so hard to describe, but really worth getting. It's got some awesome features on this. It's the 40th anniversary, so this came out in 1981. It's got an audio commentary with the director, audio commentary with the co-writer, Frederick Tooten. The Other Side of the Wall, the Making of Possession interview with the director again. US cut of Possession, Repossessed, featurette on the US cut of Possession. There was a lot of stuff cut out of this movie. It's good that they've presented it in its original format. I do enjoy that. Our Friend in the West interview with producer Christian Ferry, as well as a poster analysis featurette. International and US theatrical trailers on this one. Really cool artwork in this too, like reversible sleeve, so you can get the original artwork as well as the new commissioned artwork. So really worth checking out this Possession if you've never seen it. Really strange period piece. Again, another one I got from the Beyond Genres line was this Australian exploitation classic, or should I say Ozploitation. That's Undead. Classic movie. I think this one was made in 2006. and it was directed by Peter and Michael Spierig, the Spierig brothers. Basically your run-of-the-mill zombie flick, but it's got that classic Australian humour to it, like really lame dialogue, shocking acting, but just one of those that's so bad it's good type of movies, like really sort of cheap effects as well, like tacky as fuck. But I just thought it was a cool movie, like I had a good time with it. I didn't expect much out of it. But yeah, chock full of special features as well. It's got an audio commentary with directors Peter and Michael Spierig, cinematographer Andy Strayhorn, on the set with the Undead, Attack of the Undead, like a short movie, the making of Undead, homemade daily video diary, which was cool. Undead camera and makeup test, stills gallery, and a theatrical trailer on this one, but definitely worth checking out. All of the stuff that they're releasing for this Beyond Genres line is great, and yeah, all remastered, crystal clear. Umbrella do a great job as always with that one. Another 40th anniversary, this one here, of course, is The Shining. Absolute classic movie. I can't believe I didn't have this in my collection, but really happy to get it. Picked it up for $10. It's part of the Warner Brothers Classics collection. This, of course, stars Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall. And yeah, directed by Stanley Kubrick. Basic story, if you've never read the book or you haven't heard of it, it's a Stephen King novel, of course. A couple and their child go to basically live in as live-in caretakers in the Overlook Hotel. It's like this classically restored 1800s mansion. And Jack Nicholson's character, of course, he plays Jack Torrance. He's a sober alcoholic, only been sober a short time, really struggling to put a book together, so he takes this job so that he's secluded away from everything and everyone, and something weird's happening in this hotel, and slowly it emerges that this hotel is actually haunted. And Jack Nicholson did such an awesome job in this movie, slowly he's starting to go insane, like losing his shit. And there's a classic scene of this as well where he's sitting at the bar, and it's one of my favourite scenes. He's sitting at the bar and he's thinking he's actually really drinking, and talking to this guy behind the bar, Grady. But of course, when the camera pulls back and cuts back in, you can see that it's just Jack sitting there on his own, talking to himself. So it's hard to know in this movie as I drop one of the movies there, it's hard to know in this movie whether what you're seeing is actually happening or what you're seeing is all in his head. And I sort of thought that they left it open really well in the book to sort of leave it open as to whether or not this was happening or as to whether or not he was just insane. But awesome movie. There's some cool special features on it. We've got commentary with Steadicam and vendor operator Garrett Brown and historian John Baxter. It's got Vivian Kubrick, his wife's documentary, The Making of The Shining, with optional commentary. 3 mesmerising new featurettes, View from the Overlook, Crafting The Shining, The Visions of Stanley Kubrick and Wendy Carlos, composer, and theatrical trailer on this one. So awesome one to get if you haven't seen it, The Shining. And it's weird that all the movies I picked up this month, or pretty much all of them, 3 out of the 4 were made in 1981, and this is, of course, Joe Dante's classic, The Howling, a fucking awesome movie. I can't gush enough about this movie. It's one of my favourite 80s films of all time. Incredible effects. Rob Bottin did the effects in this. He also did the effects on The Thing. And you can see the effects really came a long way between this movie. This is the movie he did about a year before The Thing, but you could see that the progression was incredible. You know, of course, American Werewolf came out the same year, but they're totally different movies. I found this was still funny, but American Werewolf, if I can compare the two, you know, it's hard to pick the one I like more. Maybe American Werewolf just by a little bit, but American Werewolf was a lot funnier, I found, and this sort of had a darker side to it. It's not that American Werewolf didn't have its dark side, I just thought it was a funnier movie. This is more of a straight sort of movie, I thought, and sort of a bit more scary, I think what they did with this, and the werewolves were a bit more in the dark, and you know, the change scene was different in American Werewolf. But anyway, the basic story of the Howling is Dee Wallace and Patrick Macnee's characters are journalists, and they're investigating a serial killer by the name of Eddie, who's played awesomely in this movie by Robert Picardo. Like, he just did an amazing job on the acting in this, for having very few lines. He was just awesome as this psychopath that you then find out is a werewolf. And they're investigating him, and she's attacked, Dee Wallace is attacked, and you know, she's seeing a psychologist, and he basically says to her, oh, you know, you two need to get away for the weekend, her and her partner, who she also works with, that turns out to just be the most misogynistic fuck ever. Anyway, we get to that, they get to this island, and they're noticing something's weird, you know, they're hearing noises, and, you know, they're meeting all the people that live on the island, and they're really fucking strange people and really out there. And, you know, slowly they sort of start to discover that something's not quite right there. And Patrick Macnee meets this witch, and, you know, at first he's like, no, I don't want a bar of it. And then he ends up sleeping with her, and then he gets bitten. And that sets things off. You find out that he's, of course, been bitten by a werewolf. And I can't believe how well this is aged for a movie that came out in 1981. And Studio Canal have just done such a great job with their remasters line as well. Like, the picture in this is superb. You know, they've done a scan from the camera negative on this one, so it just looks amazing, like it was done yesterday. And like Dante, the way he uses light in this, like, there's a lot of green and red, you know. And if you've heard the story about Wes Craven, you know, just to go off topic for a minute, like the green and the red on the jumper, like apparently green and the red was unsettling to the eye. So, you know, he used a lot of the green and red light in this movie, and you know, it cuts to animation in one scene, and it's just an awesome movie, just so ahead of its time. I can't say enough good stuff about it. Really awesome if you've never seen it, because you get the chance to see something special now. And it's got some special features, new inside the career of Joe Dante, welcome to Werewolf Land, deleted scenes and outtakes on this one. So yeah, really worth picking up. And yeah, awesome. So yeah, that'll be it for this video, and that'll be it for this year, guys. I've really enjoyed it. I can't thank you enough for subscribing to my channel, and you know, this will be video number 14 now. So I'm clocking up some videos now on this channel. You know, it's been a sort of a growing year, and feeling along as I go, and sort of getting used to the camera and getting a bit more relaxed, and you know, remembering everything I've got to say. But I've really enjoyed it. And another thing I wanted to mention as well is I've just started up an Instagram channel. So if you want to have a look what I'm doing, I'm putting up some pictures of the Blu-rays that I pick up each month, or the toys that I pick up each month, or whatever it may be, books, whatever. I'm putting up some photos on Instagram just so you can have a closer look at the items. If you want to ask me anything, you know, make comments, like the photos, whatever you like. You can just look for MC Dead Collectibles on Instagram. I haven't put a link on YouTube before, so I'll check that out, and if I don't know how to do it, I'll try and get it done. But otherwise, if you just do a search on there, MC Dead Collectibles, all in one word, it'll come up. You can check that out. But yeah, again, like I said, thanks for watching and subscribing if you have. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. I'm relying on that to sort of grow the momentum and the fan base of the channel. But I've really enjoyed bringing you these videos next year, and I want to say as well, I hope everyone has a really good Christmas, and you know, you have some awesome time with your family. I hope you're all well, and we've got through the second year of COVID now, and it's a fresh start in 2022. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the new year. Bye now.